Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic edition of Sports Talk in the Burgh. My name is Casey Irwine, and I'm joined by two grieving college football fans, Nick Evans and Nate Fennell. Fellas, how are we feeling today after a tough weekend?
Not good.
There's no words. There's no words.
No words from this one, but we had a lot of stuff happen this past week in the NFL. The Steelers were on a bye week, but despite not playing a game, it felt like a win as everyone else in the AFC North lost their games. So with the Ravens at 1-4 and the rest of the division looking a little questionable, is there any way Pittsburgh doesn't take this one home? Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a way they don't take this home. That's a ridiculous question. I mean, are they in good position? Yeah, but wrapped up is a crazy thing to say with 13 games left to play. Like, injuries are always possible. It's a long season. If A-Rod goes down any of these weeks, the narrative completely changes. I think we're forgetting on the betting markets, the Ravens are still the favorites to win the North. That's a big deal.
We're talking about betting markets right now. I want to talk about something that maybe the betting market isn't taking into account. Okay, the Ravens defense has the second most yards against. They have the most touchdowns against, most points against, and they don't create turnovers. That defense stinks. I know they've played some good teams, and I know they have a little bit of a softer schedule coming up, but the injuries and trading away Odafe Owe, I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with the Steelers, who are getting some guys back this week from injury, like Jalen Warren, Alex Highsmith, Joey Porter. Those guys are all back this week. They're rested. The Ravens' loss against the Texans tied for the biggest defeat ever with their loss in 2013.
They were without
the
Lamar.
year that was
really
the year after they won the
serious.
Super Bowl and they missed the playoffs.
We can't really take that loss serious. They're without Lamar. They also lost to the Lions, the Bills, the Chiefs. The Steelers, they still have to play the Bills, the Lions, the Chiefs.
They don't play the Chiefs.
I'm sorry. The Steelers have a lot of games left, but
interesting thing about that Ravens defense that you mentioned how bad it is. So far, they've allowed more points in 5 games than their 2000 defense did all season. 5 games, 177 points allowed. You can see the standings 1-4 sitting down there, and the Steelers sitting pretty up top.
Yep. And I'm not afraid of. I mean, all the talk's on Baltimore right now because no one's afraid of Joe Flacco and the Bengals. I mean, Joe Flacco is just an injury waiting to happen behind that offensive line. The Browns are the Browns. They don't win divisions.
This is a 2-team race essentially, and it's in a race that the Ravens are going to end up winning. They're only 2.5 games behind. They still have 2 games to play against the Steelers. If they win both those games, it only becomes a half-game lead, and then the schedules comparatively look a lot better for the Ravens than they do for the Steelers.
I could agree with that, but I think that the Steelers overall are a more put-together team than the Ravens. I think that they're structured a lot better. I think Harbaugh, his seat is getting a little warm right now. Surprising move for them to keep their defensive coordinator after this disgusting performances they've had. I know the Steelers have collapsed in the past, and they've had trap games, as we call them, where they lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. I really felt like the game in Ireland against the Vikings was one of those games. But the Steelers prevailed, and I think Aaron Rodgers is a big part of that. Having that experience with Aaron Rodgers really puts the Steelers over the top.
Well, we'll see how Aaron Rodgers wraps up this season for the Steelers. But now, as already mentioned, the Ravens are at 1-4. On Sunday night, the Bills took their first loss to the young gun Drake May and the Patriots. And on Monday night, Mahomes and the Chiefs fell to 2-3 in a thriller against the Jaguars. So with the 3 juggernauts of the AFC from the last few years stumbling early in the season, is the conference wide open for anyone to become champion? Nick, what do you think?
I agree for sure with that. I think this division, the conference, I think is anybody's. You've seen the Colts. You've seen even the Jaguars in the playoffs right now. Like, this looks like Blake Bortles' era right now. I think you're seeing a lot more emphasis now on star quarterbacks can't carry their team now. I think there's a lot more coaching and overall team performances that factor into this. Look at the teams that have won the Super Bowl recently. The Eagles, very complete team. Saquon Barkley in the backfield, great defense, well coached. The Chiefs, Andy Reid, well coached. You've got the good defenses, you've got Patrick Mahomes, good teams. Rams were a great overall team when they won the Super Bowl. These overall teams are what is important. You can't rely on one quarterback to elevate your team to the top. It's what the Bengals have been doing with Joe Burrow lately, and a bad defense has cost them. You have a talented quarterback, and you just can't get over the hump. And I think there's some more teams that are just out-coaching these good teams. Vrabel out-coached McDermott on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Super Bowl because in terms of the AFC and the Super Bowl, the team who's represented them the last 3 years has been the Chiefs, and the teams that have gone against them in the AFC Championship game, it's either the Bills or the Ravens. I mean, when it comes playoff time and the big dogs got to step up, those three quarterbacks are going to come calling and they're going to make their name happen.
Lamar's not even going to be in the playoffs this year.
Lamar's going to show up in the playoffs.
Lamar's showing up
We've
in the playoffs.
already established they're going to take the North. We've already established
no, they're
that's
not.
happening.
Aaron Rodgers is going to come out, and I think the Steelers' defense is going to win
Aaron
playoffs.
Rodgers
And
will
whoever
get
is most
dominated
healthy,
by either Mahomes or Allen, no matter what happens.
I think healthy teams is the big theme of this year. I think whichever team stays healthy the longest into the playoffs, I'm
just
that's
saying,
the team with the best.
The Patriots just beat the Bills.
Yep.
The Steelers beat the Patriots. I don't know.
So plan the parade.
Maybe I'm not too good at
So let's
math.
plan the
There is
parade.
parity in the regular season, but when the big games happen in the playoffs, the big dogs will step up. And Patrick Mahomes, if healthy, as he has been, will not go down to a Steelers team, will not go down to the Patriots. He's not losing to any of these teams.
Not going down to a team like the Patriots, but he just fell to Jacksonville this weekend.
It's a regular season game. What I'm trying to say to you is the playoffs are completely
You got to win the regular
different.
season to get to the playoffs.
And he will get to the playoffs. Whenever he will get there, he will make it happen like he has always done.
They sit at 2-3 now, and not in this wild card picture that you just saw on the screen. The Colts at the top. Indiana Jones, maybe it's his year in the AFC. We don't know for sure. I mean, Jaguars 4-1. I mean, Nick, I don't want to full-on agree with someone, Nate. I love
Jaguars, really.
But it could
We're going to
be,
read that much
seriously
into 5
could be
weeks.
anyone's
Even Denver is
year.
above the
All right, it could
Chiefs right now.
It's anyone's year, maybe in the AFC. And through 5 weeks of the NFL season, some teams have been on fire, like the Jaguars, and some teams have been ice cold. This leaves the job security of some people in the NFL in jeopardy. So, which NFL head coach should be considered on the hot seat right now? Nate, what do you think?
It's Jonathan Gannon. I mean, they started 2-0, and now they're 2-3, and they had probably one of the ugliest losses we have seen in the NFL in a long time against the Titans last weekend. They were leading 21-6 in the fourth quarter. They had a 98.2% chance to win, and then just sequence of insanely terrible play by the team just continued to go wrong.
I mean, that right there is the craziest touchdown I've ever seen.
Exactly. How do you intercept the pass and then fumble it?
How are you going to base
You
that
got
on
to
coaching,
teach your
though?
team to be better. You got to teach them to play
Gannon
better.
on the field
It
doing
is
that?
situational football to teach your team to not run into the end zone and then just drop it right before you get there. You got to be a better coach than that.
So then you could talk about the Colts then. Adonai Mitchell dropped the ball before he went into the end zone.
They still won the game.
The coach cannot. No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
That was against the Rams, wasn't it? They lost. So you're going to say he's a bad coach now?
But still,
You can't.
it was a
Listen,
absolute
if
fall
you are
apart of
Jonathan
a game.
Gannon and you're watching your team, are you in his headset and saying, all right, now you better drop this ball before you get in the end zone?
See Gannon here yelling at DeMarcado
Yeah.
under
Look at
fire
that.
for
Are you
this.
Look at that. He
losing your
is-
mind and getting out of the moment in that situation? Or are you staying locked
No,
in
you're
and
holding your
trying
team
to
to
win
a
the game?
standard.
That
When
is
you're
a
a
guy who's
coach-
not focused on winning.
You are holding your team to a standard. A coach that is not holding his team to a standard right now and that is majorly on the hot seat is Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels is focusing way too much on being liked by the players. An anonymous Dolphins player actually recently said, players are consistently late to meetings and are not disciplined. They had a super talented roster with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb, Armstead. No playoff wins, any of that. No playoff wins. in 2023 to 2024, Dolphins are 1-10 against teams above 500. They're not prepared for the big dogs. They can't roll with the big dogs. And I don't think Mike McDaniels is very long for this league. The Dolphins are soft. They're a soft team.
I mean, Mike McDaniel for a while has, the Dolphins are just in a questionable place, but you have to say, they've been an injury-riddled team. How can he coach against injuries?
Well, there's the injuries is
could he
beyond
predict
question.
Tyreek Hill would snap his leg in half?
The injuries are behind this. You look at the problems that these players have, like Tyreek Hill. Just hearing how they act in their own team facility shows that they're not prepared for games, and it's been proven. He hasn't won playoff games. A coach getting this talented of a roster and just not doing anything with it, it's embarrassing. He's terrible at time management.
Talented? This defense is a disaster. Tyreek Hill's out for the year. Their O-line's garbage.
They had a good defense.
Darren Waller came out of retirement to play for them. What kind of talent do we have
We'll
here?
see if they have their jobs at the end of this season. But when we come back, the guys take some time to heal and let their emotions out for the world to see in our brand new segment. You don't want to miss it here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Let's see it, Steve. Women's basketball.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something I can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. We missed you here, and we sure are glad you aren't missing this new segment. This past weekend, the Texas Longhorns and the Penn State Nittany Lions both saw their seasons go down the drain with losses to unranked teams. It just so happens that I have big fans of each of those teams sitting right here next to me. And earlier in the week, the guys set aside some time to reflect and come to terms with their loss. So now, let's send it over to Sports Therapy in the Burgh.
Hi, my name is Jess McCullough. I'm TVGM here at RMU, and I love helping people with their sports adversity. Many people are fans of many different teams, and we can't all be winners. Last week, the Texas Longhorns and Penn State Nittany Lions both suffered horrific losses. And so when we have people like Nate Fennell and Nick Evans, who are both fans of very large universities and their football teams, I want to be there for them. And so I have set up Sports Therapy in the Burgh. Today, I'm joined by Nate Fennell, a Texas Longhorns fan. Nick Evans, who is a fan of the Penn State Nittany Lions, who have recently dropped 2 games in a row, one to Oregon and one to, was that UCLA?
Yep.
Nate, what brought you to book a session today?
The Texas Longhorns ranked top 10 in the country.
Weren't they ranked number 1 at the start of the year?
No, it was number 2, but it doesn't get much worse than top 2, you know?
The 0-4 winless UCLA.
Is that game the reason you're here today, Nick?
This is a build-up. I've finally accepted where I need to be.
Are you laughing at me?
You know, I've been denying it for years now. I mean, James Franklin beat Ohio State one time, and I was like, he can live off that. But now we're hungry. We're so hungry, and we're not being fed. We had the plate right in front of us with Oregon. It got snatched away.
In an instant, during the whiteout.
Don't get me started on the whiteout.
Nate, if Arch Manning was sitting in the room with us right now, what would you say to him? Just, I want you to imagine that Drew Aller is in the room here with us.
Where? Where is he?
Well, I'd want him to be honest with me, and I'd ask him. I'd be like, Arch, are you hurt?
It isn't real. You just imagine that he was standing across from you.
I see him everywhere.
If he's not hurt, then I'm really worried about the program as a whole because just, scouting and everything. I mean, did we just look at a name and be like, oh, a Manning, let's give him $6 million?
If you could say one thing to Drew Aller, what would it be?
To run away while he still has a little bit of dignity and to apply at the Penn State Creamery where his talents will be used better.
And Nick, what do they do at the Creamery?
They sure don't lose to UCLA, that's for sure.
Nate, this week against Florida, when did you know it was over?
So as soon as I woke up, I was like, wow, something feels wrong. The Texas Longhorns play football today, and they have a legit shot at losing.
Do you think that Penn State would be better off if Keegan-Michael Key were the permanent head coach?
And then Florida, first drive of the game, got lucky. They recovered a fumble of their own and then went on, took that drive all the way down the field, scored points.
Jess, have you ever seen The Goonies?
Then we punted on our first drive, and I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a rough day in the swamp.
So to answer your question, Key, Peel, whoever. Anyone but James Franklin.
Would you say that you prayed to God over your defense and your offensive coordinator?
I'm not much of a religious man, but I'm starting to think maybe that's the reason the team stinks.
Do you think it should still be called Happy Valley?
There's nothing happy about that valley.
I want you to hold my hand. Nope.
What if the season's over?
Father God, I want you to imbue the highest level of determination and courage and holiness into the Texas Longhorns this week.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard next year, I would own the Penn State Nittany Lions.
It's a state school, you can't own it. I pray that Arch Manning remembers what his last name means.
What if they win and it'll all be okay? What if Drew Aller is the man?
I would temper your, I think this is starting to become delusion. Hey, this is a safe space. You don't have to pretend that things are going to be at the perfect.
We are Penn State!
I can't approve of that message here. And I pray that Nate Fano is finally physically rested and refreshed so that he may finally eat PNC calf food again. Amen. Amen.
I need a hug.
Okay. Come. It's gonna be okay.
Wow, that was powerful. I'm really glad you guys got to sit down, take some time, let it all out, and this may be a little unethical, but I'm going to say who I think is more valid in their trauma. And looking back at it, I'm going to have to go with Nick.
You're joking, dude!
What do you mean is he joking? My team was supposed to win it all.
Are you kidding me? Apparently we were ranked #1. We were supposed to win it all. We had Arch Manning, a Manning. You had Drew Aller. That kid stinks. Everybody knows he stinks.
Nate, here's the thing. I just don't have any sympathy for Nepo babies. And it's just clear, And then James Franklin, he's been tormenting Penn State for so long.
My pain is longer than yours.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys could have had Quinn Ewers again. I don't know.
I wish we had Quinn again.
I mean, you could have stayed.
Are you realizing my pain now?
No,
Maybe
I'm realizing your pain, but I still don't have sympathy for a Nepo baby that got $6.8 million for his name.
Well, maybe you don't have sympathy for him. Why don't we put Matthew Caldwell in? Maybe the team will be better.
I don't think so. Hey, I'm going to reference. I think you're starting to get delusion. It's a safe space, all right? Safe space.
I just got to say, Jess wasn't a very good therapist. I don't feel any better. Do you, Nick? Do you feel any better?
I think they feel great is what we're seeing here. When we come back, we dive deep into the excitement that is the MLB playoffs. Stay right here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. It's October, so you know what that means, playoff baseball. Let's get right into it. The wild card round has passed and the divisionals are in the full swing of things. There's been plenty of excitement along with plenty of surprises, but what result has surprised you the most so far? Nate, what do you think?
Oh, it's got to be the Phillies dropping their first 2 games against the Dodgers at home. They have one of the most electric atmospheres in baseball, especially during playoff time, and they have the 4th highest payroll in baseball. So both those things combined together to suggest you should win at least one of the 2 playoff games, not lose both. But, you know, instead now they're going to LA down 2-0 on the brink of elimination. It's not looking good for those fans in Philly.
Yeah, I mean they're getting beat by a really bad team called the LA Dodgers. I mean those guys, like, it's not like they have Ohtani and Snell pitching and gonna have Yamamoto tonight over Aaron Nola, who has a 6.01 ERA. You know,
I'm not talking about tonight.
crazy.
I'm talking about the first 2 games. The first 2 games were
yeah,
rough.
and Ohtani and Snell pitched. Zach
Yeah.
Wheeler's done for the Phillies. You really
Ohtani
thought there was
hasn't
any
been
chance
great
in
this year.
series.
He's still coming back from injury.
Snell
was arguably amazing.
The Dodgers are a playoff team. They went to 4 of the last 8 World Series, and they've won 2 of them. Harper's ghosted this series. He's just nowhere to be found. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Will Smith. The Dodgers' bats are too deep. They're the best.
Yeah, we can agree that the Dodgers have stepped up and the Phillies have ghosted, and that's kind of the part I just wasn't expecting at the atmosphere that the Phillies have.
Well, if I was going to talk about my biggest surprise, I would say it's this Blue Jays offense here exploding. I mean, both them and the Yankees entered the playoffs 94 and 68. I mean, the Yankees were on an 8-game win streak. They had a great series against the Red Sox, some good pitching. The Blue Jays chased the Yankees' best pitcher, Max Fried, in Game 2, a star pitcher who shut out the Red Sox. He had 7 runs scored against him. This pitching for the Yankees just can't keep up with the Blue Jays. The last time Cam Schlittler, who is playing today in an elimination game against the Blue Jays, last time he played the Jays, he got torched for 4 runs in 1 2/3 innings. This is just a very bad trend for the Yankees, and I'm honestly surprised that their pitching has been as bad as they are. But maybe this Blue Jays offense is for real.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what the storyline is here. Is it the Blue Jays offense is good or the Yankees pitching is bad?
I'm surprised by how the series has gone. Just in general, I thought it would be more competitive. I mean, even though the Blue Jays lost last night,
yeah,
they
just
still
went back
put up
to New
so
York.
many
The
runs.
Yankees took that game. The Yankees are going to take this game. It's going to be a 2-2 series.
Yankees are not taking this game.
You want to
Schlittler's
talk
gonna
about
get lit
competitive? You want to reference Schlittler's former appearances.
All right.
How did he do his last start?
I would have given the Guardians a shout out. They had such a hot streak and then they blew it in the wild card round. But now, when the leaves started falling and the temperature starts changing, some guys in the MLB freeze with the weather, but a select category of players become Mr. October and heat up like the atmosphere. So Nate has come up with a list of MLB players who are more clutch than anyone else when it's their moment to shine. Nate, lead us off.
Well, number 3 is Vlad Guerrero Jr. He hit a home run in back-to-back-to-back games. He took Luis Gil deep in Game 1. Then he hit a grand slam in Game 2. Then to follow it up last night, he hit a 2-run home run. And it's been incredible to see from the kid so far. He's hitting .615 with 8 RBIs so far and 13 at-bats this postseason. He's put the entire country of Canada on his back, and he has the Yankees on the brink of elimination. And then moving to number 2, it's Julio Rodriguez. He hit a home run in the ALDS to get it started versus the Tigers in Game 1, and then he tied the game in the 6th inning, driving in Randy Arozarena. He had the only 2 RBIs for the Mariners in that game, and he's responsible for the first run in Seattle since 2001 in the playoffs. He's one of their major superstars, and he's provided majorly for the squad, and he's just awesome to see perform for this team. And then number 1 is Freddie Freeman. He's hitting .886 in 66 career playoff games, and he has hit 4 home runs with 13 RBIs for the Dodgers in their playoff run last season. And in the World Series, he hit .313 with a 1.541 OPS. That is insane. He had 10 RBIs in the World Series, which was a Dodgers franchise record, and then he would hit .310 with 6 home runs and 17 RBIs in 11 World Series games so far in his career. He plays elite defense as well, which is why he gets my number 1 spot. But these 3 guys, there's no one better than them when it comes time in the clutch.
Didn't give any pitching some love there at all. It's all bats.
Nope.
You don't think there's any pitching?
There's no Madison Bumgarners anymore. If Madison Bumgarner was still in the league, I'd put Madison Bumgarner up there.
Well, Ohtani's pretty close, I would say, but this performance by Cam Schlittler, the rookie, against the Red Sox.
You were just hating on Cam Schlittler.
I'm hating on him against the Blue Jays, but you can't deny he had 8 scoreless innings in an elimination game. That's pretty clutch.
He did. That's pretty cool.
No Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge hit a 3-run home run to tie the game against the Jays in an elimination game that Blue Jays could have ran away with, and he's batting .500 in the playoffs right now. Freddie Freeman has 2 hits this whole series.
Did you read the career numbers Freddie Freeman has had?
I read the career numbers, but what's he doing right now?
The biggest moment in baseball is the World Series, and nobody steps up in that moment like Freddie Freeman has historically.
He's not impressive right now. I don't think he's doing anything impressive in these playoffs. He's being overshadowed by Ohtani. He's being overshadowed by Mookie Betts.
It doesn't.
I'd say he's another.
It's not overshadowed. It's a loaded team, and when it comes time for him, when they really need something,
the clutch guy is the guy that you look to win the game, and I don't think Freeman is that guy for the Dodgers.
Nate, you talk about the Mariners. You talk about Julio Rodriguez. In my opinion, I think you really have to look at Cal Raleigh as their big clutch guy. He's been electric in the postseason.
These two guys you've mentioned are not even the best player on their team.
Julio's career postseason right now on the screen.
How many games has he played?
How many has Cal Riley played? Cal Riley's already got better stats than that.
Cal Raleigh does not have better stats than that in the postseason. Cal Raleigh is a merchant of the non-big moment. You want to talk about clutch? Cal Raleigh is unclutch. He hits home runs when the game is over.
Cal Riley.
His average in the postseason right now is over 400.
Okay, we've played 3 games.
You want to call on your most clutch player, it's your best player.
You guys
it's
are
Aaron
focused
Judge on the Yankees.
You guys are focused
it's the big
on
dumper on Seattle. It's Ohtani on the Dodgers. It's not
Vladdy showing up for the Blue Jays.
Vladdy, I agree with Vladdy. I think Vladdy is very good.
Did you miss Vladdy on the list or something?
No, I saw.
Yeah, Vladdy's had a lot of historically good performances. The thing I don't dive into too much in terms of being clutch is just sprinkles of here and there being clutch. Cam Schlittler's barely had any historically good performances. What is he, a rookie this year? How am I supposed to tell you he's one of the most clutch players in the league when he hasn't done this year after year? These other guys can.
I think having Julio above Vladdy is pretty crazy to me.
Well, and Freeman. I think Freeman above Vladdy is crazy right now.
Did you hear the numbers that Freeman has in the biggest moment that the MLB can provide for you? Then why don't you think he's the most clutch? Now? It's not about right now. It's about what he's done in the World Series.
If you're clutch, you're consistently clutch.
You said it's not about right now.
Listen.
But then when we're talking about Cal Riley.
What clutch moments?
You're talking about Cal Riley right now, but you can't talk about
what clutch
Freddie
moments
right
have the Dodgers needed so far this postseason? None. They've cruised to victories.
I'm not impressed right now.
Wow. Well, that's all we have in Sports Talk in the Burgh. Thank you for joining. We'll see you all again next week.